Hello everyone. Today I want to show you the beginnings of how I put together my fabric journals, and I'll be showing you what I've done up until now and the process I go through from the very beginning, and then there will be other videos to follow. What you do need for this is essential is scissors. I have a little pair of pliers that will help me. Sometimes I have to pull the needle through and I need something to help me. I have this, I'm not sure, it's a pokey tool to make the holes, and some thread, all different types of thread actually, some embroidery thread that I'm going to be showing you later on, but normal thread is also needed. You're going to be needing needles of different types of measurements, and also pins that you can hold your work together until you sew it all together. Now this is a journal that's entirely, up until now, almost, done all by hand. So you really don't need a sewing machine. You can also use glue. I've used a lot of glue. And yeah, you can vary your glue as well too. If you have fabric glue that's perfect. I'm using this one and it's working perfectly fine. It's a journal that I'm never going to wash, so I don't have to worry about what kind of glue I'm going to be using. Naturally, if it's something in time, I don't know, but I'm using this for now. Good pair of scissors. I have mine with a little piece of fabric around it because I have two pairs of these. One is since been used for paper, so it's not good for fabric anymore, but a nice sharp pair of scissors is needed as well too. For who doesn't see well, magnifying glass, I need that to, prepare my needles. Sometimes I'll prepare 5-6 needles at once, depending what I'm doing. So that way, I'm ready to go for it. So I'm going to put these things aside and I'll show you the journals now. So like I said, you have no need of a sewing machine. This is take 2 on the video, by the way. I'd done a video and the battery ran out, so I had to redo it again. So this is my journal up until now. And these pages are not complete yet. I'm going to be going back to them. Actually, I'll probably be going back to them in videos as well too, and or even starting new pages altogether. It's not going to be a long series of videos, couple of videos here and there, and that's it. So this one here is done. This flower was done with all different types of pieces of fabric, and then a piece of not organza, a piece of tulle put on top of it, and then all sewn. It could be all done by hand as well too. As you can see on this page, there's a butterfly that's been stamped on a piece of fabric. Actually, that's a piece of jelly printed fabric, which is really cool as well too. You can use stamps in this journal as well too. You can stamp the fabric and then put it on here, or this is the way I'm doing it. So if you guys find it better to prepare your pages and then put them together, that's perfectly fine as well too. I prepared the pages and I'm adding on to them. Be very careful naturally when I go back to these things, like this was some things that are added onto it after you form the page. I have baiting in the middle of it, so I don't get to the other side of the fabric. I'll, with the needle, just go into the baiting and sew the object on the page. And that's one of them. This is the second page that lately I've noticed these Facebook groups. It's called slow stitching, and I'm very interested into it because I do like sitting down and working on things like this. So, and it's lots of fun too. There's no precision, nothing. I'm not an embroiderer. This is just a plain stitch, but it's very meditating. Another 2 butterflies that I stamped, so you can use lots of stamping in this project as well too. Just pieces of ribbon for windows, and here I have what would that be called? The salvage of the fabrics. Formed a tree. And on this page instead, this was done on a frame much bigger than this, because I work on this frame that I can sit down to, and even if the project is small, I'll put it on another big piece of fabric that's held into the frame. But you guys can use it perfectly well in a little frame like this as well too. And everything was here. You can see it's all hand stitched. So no machine again. More salvages. Another piece of lace put onto the edge. Now the edges here, you can see that there's a running stitch around there. And you know, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. But like I said, these are pages that I'm going to be coming back to. They are not finished. This one here instead was, now I'm pulling out all the little things that I've had made through the years and never used in fabric wise. And you know, I'm getting use out of them in the journal, building up a journal. And they're also memories of what you had done in the past. This was a tryout for a table center done in fabric and stenciling, which I really liked how it came out. And I just added this little piece of lace, and there's much more to be added here as I find things. And I remembered that I do have a little bottle button so of wine, so I'll be adding that onto here. And you know, you can add dimension. It looks really nice. So that's one of them. This is another one. This is another blanket that I made with these 4 little bears, and then other fabrics that I'll show you now that were added. And I just, for now, added just the rickrack around it, but you know, there's still lots to be done here. And this was taken away because I accidentally painted the fabric here. This is another one. I have these beautiful little pieces of fabric that somebody sent to me, and if I'm not mistaken, it was Roz. But as you could see, the base of this, I did a log cabin with all ivory fabrics, and it was done all by hand, then turned, and I gave it a good iron. In fact, you could see here the creases where it's not really done that well. These flowers I've been finding too that I have made in the past, and I'm going to be adding them to my journals as well. Again, much more to be added here. This is another page that I did. This is another tryout that I did, and this was actually done with styrofoam stamps to form a cactus, and I have it in a book. And I started, and I did these little French knots in here that aren't really, you know, that great. So I stopped doing it. But like I said, here I would like to add, always being careful just to pick up, not to go through the other side of the fabric. I want to add some beads to this, you know. So like I said, there's some lace, and here this is a piece of old lace that I took off of my bed sheet, and some rickrack, and here I put some pom-poms. And this one here instead, I've had this fabric for years, just these 2 little pieces in my stash, and I had to save them for something special, and I did find something special. And I just line them up on here with other pieces of laces that I've gotten in the past from my niece. And these 2 butterflies are done the same method as the flower. And then they were cut with the Sizzix machine. Actually, I didn't mention that this was cut with the Sizzix and even the leaf. So it goes perfectly well. This was a necklace that I sewed onto here. And like I said, there's more to be added here. Actually, I've been rummaging through. Nina Ribena sent me these beautiful Indian fabrics, and I'm thinking of, you know, adding something to like a page like this. And it's not going to be a specific journal. It's a mix-match journal because I have lots of projects that I have to use up. And I'm going to put this over here, get it out of the way. This is one that I haven't done yet. So this is how I put it together. And it's actually just an ivory fabric that I had left over. This was actually a big piece, so I was able to do lots of I could do other pages with this as well too. Up until now, I've only done 3 pages. And it's the same on both sides. A running stitch that keeps all 3 together. And in the inside, what I do have is baiting. This is a beautiful baiting. It's a baiting that's done with plastic bottles. And I have it in a quilt that I'm quilting, but this these were pieces that were left over. So this is where you can use your pieces of baiting too that, you know, that are too small to do other projects. And like I said, running stitch, no sewing machine, nothing. So this is how I start my pages. They're leaving even the threads loose. I don't care. I'm even doing them in different colors. Whatever's on my needle, you know, if I have a little bit of thread left over, I'm going to use it up in here and then start, you know, thread the needle over again. Now I'll show you everything that you need, everything that I'm using to build up these pages. So what I'm going to actually leave this on here. What you can use is napkins on it, and there are specific glues. Or what you can do is what I do is just get a normal white glue and I water it down. I'm even using rice papers to do some pages, and these, you know, are ready to go. Like, you know, adding lace to them and everything, cutting them down to the right size of the page, and then sewing them on, always with a running stitch. Like I said, you can use glue. There's no problem whatsoever. You're not going to wash the journal. This is a really pretty one too. Actually, I just found, to give you an example of things that I find around, and this little cute trimming here with little carriages that would look really cute on a page like this with the baby. So yeah. So napkins can be used perfectly well as well, and they're beautiful. They come out really, really nice. Naturally, if you're using like something like this with a white background, the lighter your fabric on the background, the better it is. Another thing you can use are, you know, different types of fabrics as well too. Not only cotton fabrics, but you can use tapestry fabrics and things like that. You can use doilies. This is a flannel that I've dyed with coffee and cinnamon and then baked in the oven, and it came, you know, really nice effects. And I'm actually stamping on this as well too, because it comes out really cool. It looks like old stamped objects. I pulled out even my crochet basket and found things that I've started and never finished. So I'm going to be using these in the journals as well too. Get rid of all this stuff that I've had boxed up. Now this instead was my niece's, that she had started crisscrossing a prayer on this. She probably had to give it to somebody and start it all over again. So that's going to be a page as well. There's little objects like this, little tryouts that I did. These are what I used on that ballerina bear in the blanket. There was these two fabrics together, and this I stenciled myself as well too to use in the blanket. So these will also be used in the thing. So, you know, quilters out there, any fabrics that you have that you've, you know, cuts, you can use perfectly well in this journal. This is something else that I did, and with just, you know, threads, spreading them out with my hands, and then overlapping it again with another piece of tulle, and then sewing it down, and that will be a beautiful page as well. Sorry, you guys, I have a bit of a cough. This instead was tryouts for my embroidery machine. So this will be really cool on a page as well too, sewn down as a background and then put something on top. You know, that would look really cool too. Something like that, using your imagination. More of these. I think Roz sent me these. We did a fabric swap once upon a time. Things like this, really cool pages. Doilies, like I mentioned. These are other things that I had started in the past and never finished. I think this was even for the course. So yeah, it came out pretty good. It's because I was supervised. These two pieces were supposed to be a panel for my sewing room once upon a time. And I don't think I did other ones. It's paper piecing, so it was really actually fun to do and easy, but I never did finish it, and I ended up with these two. So what I'm going to do is put a whole bunch of buttons here, make it like a button jar, and that will be a beautiful page on its own. And the iron, do something else with it. What else do I have here? There's so much stuff you guys can use. So this is a piece of that I did on the big frame, and just sitting there at night. It's all hand sewn, all these pieces of fabric together. And that's something you can put this under the Sizzix machine and cut flowers out of it and everything too. Beautiful. something like this, pieces of it, gorgeous pages as well. And this is from a tablecloth. It's gorgeous. It's lonely, the only one. And then there's even handkerchiefs as well too that could be perfectly, you know, perfect for this type of stuff. More tapestry. And like just an example for you quilters out there, like this was a border for a table center. So I had, you know, more than enough. I had some left over, so this will be used in pages as well. Kind of getting over a cold. Pieces like this that just playing around. This, Ollie's from that blanket. And then you have your ribbons. You have all your different types of embroider threads, you know, that you can cheaply buy if you don't have them. Beads as well too. Then you have, I'll just show you a small little sample of, you know, other different types of, you know, beautiful fabrics that wonderful Nina Ribena sent me. Gorgeous, that I will be adding to my projects. Like I said, it's not going to be a determined video, journal of boho, or it's mixed. I have to get rid of the stuff that I have. That's the purpose of doing it. Then beside me here I have like laces and trimmings and things like that. Even like these pretty trims that are, you know, shiny, that you can add on. And it's so easy that to add them on, and you don't have to be precise, and unless you want to be. Well, that's another thing. Then what else do I have here? I have other ribbons and things like that. So ribbons of all different sizes, and, you know, cotton threads and things like that. You have your, these are my jelly printed fabrics, and even fabrics that were done with shaving cream that, you know, will give it a beautiful effect. I had another thing here. This is another thing that I wanted to show you as well too. These were, you know, fabrics colored by me and then decorated that will look gorgeous in your journals. And there's all different types, all different colors, you know. So if you get these type of things ready too, and like I said, they're not going to be washed, you know, so you can put a little bit of glitter and glam. Then I have these tassels that I made as well too that can be added into your pages. And remember, you have who does beads as well too, use your homemade beads. That's a beautiful bead done with a baby wipe, which is gorgeous. You got your buttons as well too, all different types of buttons. Get them out. Then you have things like this that I have, you know, lots of people give me lots of their jewelry that they don't want anymore. So lots and lots and lots. These things here, these filigrees that you can, you know, add to a page, which will make it look so cute. This, instead, it was on my shelf yesterday, and I was looking at it, and I was going, you know what? It doesn't weigh a lot. Actually, you know why it doesn't weigh? I'm just realizing. Is it a plastic spoon? Nikki Parr made this for me, and I'm going to be adding it into my pages, so that will look beautiful too. Okay, and then there's all these different types of, you know, jewelry pieces that using your imagination and, you know, taking them apart and using the beads and things like that as well too. This recently my daughter-in-law gave to me a whole bunch of jewelry that she didn't want anymore. So I showed you the doilies. You can also use paper doilies on these as well too. Like I said, you can glue paper to them. They're not like the way I'm making them. You would have to add like paper tags if you want to write something in them, or, you know, something like that. So like I said, this was just 2 pieces of fabric sewn together. And I just want to make sure that I'm showing you guys all the things that you can use up. So that way, in the meantime, waiting for the next video, you can start accumulating all this stuff. Here I have a box full of tags that I take off the clothes before they go in the bin. I'm talking about clothes that are ruined, because the good clothes, you know, clothes that are still intact and things like that, I send them off. And these are, you know, from jackets of my kids. Let me see here. There's more interesting stuff on the inside. There's even these type of plastic tags that you can get when you buy clothing, and I saved those as well too. I don't know how we could attach these. You could probably glue them in. There's some with strings, so that way you can, you know, tie them. Let me see if I can get one here, like this one here. So, you know, you can paint these. If you don't like the color, you can paint them. What I really like about this box as well too is that when, here it's really cool. Like I want to put this down here, and it's really cool because of what it says, and it was on the inside of a jean pocket. So in the end, oh my goodness, yeah, it's kind of faded a bit. Only what we love. We will love only what we understand. We will understand only what we're taught, what we are taught. And that's really cool to put into a journal. On the other side instead, these are all the little pockets that I've saved too from jeans. Tag. Looking for the pockets. These will be really cute. You can add a little piece of lace or ribbon on it or flower and sew these into your journals. That would be really, really cute. And these are they're all clothing that will add interest into your, you know, things. And a lot of them I take them off because then I repair other clothes for my kids. Like they're, you know, if they rip something, and you know, nowadays every type of clothing has tags like this, so you can kind of camouflage. And I fix a lot of the kids' clothes that way too. Okay, then I have I think this is only it, and that's it. So I'm scared the battery's going to run dead again. Now these are ties that I've done, because I took apart my husband's ties and I'm making a blanket. And these are the inside of the ties. So I've decided to decorate them. It would be like something like a snippet. So you can cut pieces of this and add them to your journal as well too. And I got all different colors of these done. I got a snippet done with laces and tools. That would be really cool. These are done by the machine, but you just cut little pieces here and there of the color you need. These are stamped fabrics. This instead is what, you know, I've been looking at lately, the slow stitching and just playing around. This will be another page as well too. Really cool. This little dress that I can make that I can stamp the girl on it. What else is in here? There's more of those, you know, these pieces that are all done like that. This is done by hand. This is done by hand. This would make a beautiful page. Also this. So you can do lots. There's no excuse. You say don't need a sewing machine. This is a piece of that, what I showed you when I cut the butterflies. This is crazy patchwork that could also be used in a page. Beautiful. But I'm basically doing this. I probably wouldn't do anything with this, because I could do a little booklet, a little needle minder with this. But smaller projects that I couldn't get ever around to finishing them up, they're going in this book. So, and if you don't have projects, make them. Make them. Like these are tags that I was making for my boxes that are up there so I can see them well. And this was an extra one, so that's going to be added to my journal too. Another flower. More of these, you know, little pieces of fabric. The ones that I just showed you. These ones here. Like that. Cut up. And then the stamping didn't come out all that well, but this is an example of what you can do. You know, stamp on fabric. I do want to try stamping with paint, because I don't know, my ink pads are really dried out, or I've tried everything with fabric. Like I hold it down really well after I've stamped, so that way, you know, it gives the time for the ink to penetrate in the fabric. But I think I don't know. I don't think my ink pads are... I want to try it with paint and see what happens. Naturally, you have to be very careful because if you're going to be using your paints, you have to wash out your stamps really well. So I was just looking. I'm sorry. I was just looking at the time and see if the video was still running. So I think I've covered everything, you guys. Like I said, I'll be starting new pages, like I will be also working on pages that are already done, and have a bit of fun together and show you what can be done. There's lots more that can be done, you guys, so if there's going to be something new, I'll probably make a video just for that thing. It's not going to be a long series. It's not going to be like a 10, 15, you know, 3 or 4. After you've seen a couple of pages done, you get the hint, and you know how to do it. So that's all about it for today. I'm making sure, I'm looking around, just making sure I haven't forgotten anything, because I had everything prepared here. Yep, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and till the next time, bye.